Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online business mediation and valuation services based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we're actually going to discuss money court, financial and business disputes, which actually is a little bit of a show. And money court it has had one season so far, and we are actually talking today with Eric Schotz, who is the executive producer of Money Court, and they are looking for kind of additional companies for the second season. So I thought that it would be kind of interesting to our listeners to talk about some of the various ways that businesses get in some type of dispute. And really, there are just certain points, inflection points, if you will, in a business when there are more money issues. And so those are some of the things that we're talking about. But maybe, Eric, you should start us off a little bit about you and some of the things that you're looking for and the producers are looking for the show.
All right. Our show is called Money Court. It's hosted by Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank fame. But Kevin is a serial entrepreneur. And when we were creating this particular program, the idea is how can we help people where the number one dispute in business and in relationships for the most part, and I'm sure Randy can speak more to that, has to do with money at its core root. And not that it's the root of all evils, but it does have a big factor in a relationship. Right now, since the pandemic, the courtroom, the court world is just backed up. And trials are taking longer, litigation is taking longer, and it's a very draining and expensive process. We decided to see, is there a way to come in and do a court show? I'm not doing a court show. No disrespect to Judge Judy, because I think the show is amazing. But their cases could be, I have a $50 hose that my neighbor's dog ate. You need to buy me a new hose. That's not our show. Okay. If you have an invention, that's not our show. If you have a dispute over invention, that's our show. So what we're looking for is two sides that are either that need advice on how to move forward in their business, or have a literary money dispute, like about cash that you owe me. Those are the stories we're looking for. They need to be in a legitimate business. They need to factor where there are two sides that have stakes. If nobody cares what the decision is, it doesn't really work for our television show. There's lots of other ways to solve that. Here's one where you're finding a complication, where you're looking for someone to come in. Both sides have agreed to be binding in terms of the decision. We hear both sides of the story, and then Kevin renders a decision based on the information that is given to him.
So, Eric, what's sort of interesting to me, we were talking before the podcast began, how you're really in the relationship business, right? People that have a business dispute you have to have some sort of relationship. In my world, it's usually that they're married to each other and they created a business, or they are dividing a business, and we have valuation stuff. But that seems what's fascinating to me. All litigation is not relationship oriented. If someone hits me in my car, I'm never going to see them again. They're not part of my life. But in your situation, on your show, these are people that actually know each other and built trust or built something together. You got to make it that much more interesting.
Right. And we're dealing with family businesses. Again, there's a lot of sides to a relationship. Sometimes it comes in the prenup before the business happens.
Absolutely.
How do we set it up? Some of them, and it's too late, and you don't want to spend all your money on the lawyers, no disrespect, but you want to sit there and try to figure out, how do we solve this and keep everything we have? That's a very difficult world to do, especially when you have a relationship that goes beyond the boardroom and goes into a bedroom. That changes everything. And our idea is, how do you get that and keep what's core important, but find those ways to solve problems? Because communication is generally at the core root of everything. I think people also don't understand in business quite often how to, set up a partnership. I'm not saying you have to have a partnership lengthy agreement, but you do have to have an understanding, and you should lay something out if you're both in a business or there are multiple partners, so that it's layered and cleared. Most people, what they decide to do is, we have a partnership. Melissa, Randy, and I have a partnership. We're equal partners. We each get 33 1/3. And that's great. And $1 comes in and we each get our 33 1/3. It's fantastic. Until we lose $1, and then it's Melissa's fault. Okay. And that's where these relationships are not set up for what goes wrong. They're only set up because we've been best friends our whole life. We're buddy. What could possibly go wrong? We've been friends since elementary school. We have cases we're casting right now that involve that at the core issue. We've known each other since elementary school. We went into the military together. We're now in a business together. We don't agree on how to move forward. We can't
Right.
figure out how to move forward. This
Well,
one,
and
you did this to me. This is literally, we're stuck. Two people want to go two different directions. One wants to buy, one wants to rent. It's that simple. And the decision has to be made, and they can't do it. And it's affecting the relationship that underlies all of it.